This is our third official, right?
Third official.
Yeah, this is big. This might even be our fourth.
Third.
We did one with Evan, one without him.
I thought we did two.
No, did one without.
Gotcha.
Danny, good to see you, big fella.
Where are we at,
Alex,
too?
good to see you, big fella.
Thanks for coming, folks.
Look at this picking up. We're already 300,000 people.
I know.
Oh, Kendra, how you doing? So anyway, today's coffee talk was brought to you by our good friends at McDonald's. This is McDonald's Cafe. We struck a big deal with them with that, the name, image, and likeness thing. So yeah, we actually don't need to be doing real estate anymore. We could probably just live off of our name, image, and likeness deal with McDonald's. But since the people,
we want to serve the people, yeah.
Since you the people need some real estate knowledge, we'll stick on for a few more months here before we retire. So yeah.
Appreciate all the waves, guys. I wish I could. I mean, I guess I could give one of these.
I think it says wave so we can wave to them. It's like a suggestion.
Yes.
Scotty
So
Z, good to see you, big
physically
fella.
wave.
No, like send a wave, like.
Can't reach the phone. If we can reach the phone,
next
we
one,
would.
wave, ready?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
We got to do it.
Sorry, my bad. That's on me.
There you go. Sweet. All right, there you go. Well, should we kick off proceedings?
I think so.
We
Yeah.
got
Jason
8.
McAdam.
We got 8.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's start with the boys.
Oh gosh, we are trending.
Yeah, we are.
Instagram's gonna shut down.
So I'm not sure I mentioned this to you, but for the first time in over a year, the median house price in Ada County dropped by just over 1% last month in August.
Good.
Which is, well, I mean, it could be good, could be bad, depends.
Yeah.
We can't look too far in the future, but that's the first time it's dropped in a year, and I've probably got this in my newsletter for anyone who gets that video newsletter. Back in May, we saw a median increase in Ada County of 8.7% in 1 month, year over year. So that's huge. So not year over year, it's just within that month. So from April to May, it was an 8.7% increase. That isn't really sustainable. We can't really jump by 10% every single month, so it's probably part of the reason why we saw a slight level there last month. So that's kind of the main point market update I got, unless Dusty's been seeing something different.
Same. Just to piggyback on that, I think one of the main functions that we've seen, or one of the causes of that small 1%, isn't necessarily just the market too. It's a lot of folks that are overpricing homes. So when you have a huge number of the market overpricing a home by even 10 or 20 grand, buyers see it and they go, ooh, let's say it's 420 and it's overpriced. They say, oh, well, I can't afford 440, because they're used to this market having to go over asking. So if something's overpriced, they now drop down. If there's a price drop, the rest of the market goes, ooh, something's wrong with that house. Now there's not much competition, and the price drops on it slowly. So it could be a small function of that. I would assume it would be pretty stable, and even if there's some small decreases, it'll be due to some price adjusting and stuff too. So
I've never seen as many price drops as I've seen recently, and it's not because things are priced right and things are just dropping because they're dropping. I've also never seen so many overpriced homes as well. I think a lot of people got, not want to say late to the party, it's probably the wrong word, but a lot of people were like, oh, the market's hot, let me list it for $200,000 more than it's worth. And there's some dummies out there, as our friend Devin would say, but there's not enough dummies that are necessarily going to pay 10% over what something's worth sometimes, and definitely not 30, 40, 50%. So unless it's priced at a point where it can warrant going for over that. But yeah, people I think everyone has every agent that's decent, and we'll get to this in a minute, has the same access to information any other agent has. If you're working with your agent and they're doing their job, they're going to tell you if something's way out of whack as far as appraising or the value there. So yeah, it's common information, so you can't overprice stuff.
And just to last but not least on that piggyback on the price stuff, the most common conversation we have with any listing, with anyone that's curious about selling their home, the last thing you want to do out of any circumstance, the last thing you want to do is even slightly overprice it. If you maybe slightly underprice something, the market will catch up. The market will dictate its true value. If you slightly overprice something, it could cut the buyer pool in half, and all of a sudden the competition that you were expecting to get your offers up is now going to go down. And so that's why folks get kind of frustrated when you first talk about, well, we want to make sure we don't overprice it. If your goal is to get the maximum value for your home, the last thing you want to do is stay away from scaring people away. And that's a hard concept for folks to understand.
I think people also think that they leave money on the table if they underprice things, but that's not the case if you're working with people that can actually market your home properly. At the end of the day, exposure is what sells homes. So if your agent and or team are not exposing your home to enough people, if you price it under value or whatever you want to call it, that is going to hurt you. But if you work with people who know what they're doing, that makes a difference. So yeah.
All right, so now let's talk about discount agents. Buyers may not be aware of the lack of value they bring to the table.
Discount agents.
I'm gonna be really careful, really careful how we proceed with answering that question directly.
Maybe what
To
I was gonna say, let's-
summarize why it's
Let's
hard.
define maybe what a discount
Okay.
agent is
what
first.
it is.
I think there's a level of subjectivity to what people may consider as a discount agent. To me,
Could be
to
literal
me,
or
when I hear
figurative.
discount agent, we're not naming any names on this one. We are not naming any names at all. But if the shoe fits, feel free to wear it if you're watching this. A discount agent, in my mind, is someone who doesn't take their job necessarily seriously, or they're all about, okay, how can we save money? And I don't mean save money for the client, but save money in the services they give you to maximize their profit. I think if I summarized it, a discount agent is someone who probably puts their needs and not taking a risk on their behalf ahead of their client's best needs.
Yeah, a discount agent is just strictly transactional, and you'll feel it when you meet with them most of the time, and you'll notice it when you meet, if you just randomly meet a lot of agents in the Treasure Valley. We're trying to be very, very professional here, but you'll notice it when you're speaking with certain agents, when you're going through listing presentations, when they're showing you homes. A classic discount agent is only thinking about the number on their board of, oh wait, how much is this going to bring me? How quickly can I get this deal done? As opposed to like, oh yeah, hey, TIFF penny card's on.
Big
As
TIFF.
opposed to me helping
The goat.
TIFF or TIFF on here. It's like when you're helping someone, client comes first all the time. That's why we do this. It's fun. Like some of the smallest deals I've ever done have been by far the most fulfilling because the price doesn't connect to anything. It's strictly the service you give. And we do spend a lot of money on our clients to make sure that the services they get are good. So all the discount agents out there, they want to save money and get the deal done as quick as possible. And you'll feel that. It's always pretty obvious as the client too. It's not, you're never unsure. When you finish a deal with a discount agent, those are the times when you go, man, real estate agents get paid too much. Those are the times that happen. When you have a good agent, you go, I understand why
They
they're
work.
valued. Yeah, I totally understand it. So
And that's definitely, it works on both sides. I think that definitely you see that more on maybe the buying side. I think on the listing side of things, this discount is really easy to define. There are not set prices when it comes to selling real estate. There are not set fees. There are antitrust laws that prevent us from saying this is the fixed price. However, there does tend to be a more common range in which agents will list and sell your home for, fees-wise. So if you meet with an agent that says, I'll list your home and I'll do it for X%, that is, I'm gonna throw random crazy numbers out there just to stay away from any kind of fixed rates here. Let's say agent A says, I'll do it all in for 60%. I know it's crazy. I probably wouldn't advise you to use an agent to charge 60%. But let's say agent A says, I will do it for 60%, right? And then agent B says, I'll do it for 40% all in. In your head, you're thinking, if you're to the uneducated, or unless you're uneducated as those aren't used to dealing with real estate transactions, I could save 20%. Okay, what are you saving 20% on? Let's define it. When that agent said, one agent said it, the other agent said it, right? They said it. What is it? It is the actual process of selling your home. If agent A and agent B did the exact same thing and guaranteed the same result, then yeah, 100% you go with the less one. But here's the thing. Your home does not sell for a fixed price. It sells based on your agent's ability to market and negotiate. Therefore, if agent A is to list your home for X amount, agent B lists your home for X amount, agent A did more stuff to market the home, despite them charging 60%, and agent B did less, and they charge you 40%. If agent A, and we speak about this all the time, exposure to a listing is what sells it for the most amount of money. If agent A did more than agent B, despite them charging you more, but they got you a higher sale price, let's say they got you an extra $200,000 more, which isn't unheard of in the right circumstance, surely you'd pick agent A because having 60% or netting 40% of a much, much higher number is often better than netting 60% of a much lower number. So it's real simple. All it comes back to is, yeah, a discount agent will kind of wow you with, I'm going to save you money, but homes do not sell for a fixed price. Always choose to work with your agent or team that can expose your property to the most amount of people, because that's what sells it for the most amount of money.
love that. Biggest, easiest example I can put out there to understand it. The best deals by far that we ever get for someone on the buy side, the best deals, as in a deal would mean you get something under market or something that isn't competitive, you have to put one or two offers in. When you get a property for a cheap price, it's because the agent selling it was a discount agent and they didn't do a very good job. 4 months ago, there was a house, not gonna say prices, anything like that. As soon as I saw it, I knew exactly that it was a discount agent on the property, and I immediately know, oh my gosh, instead of this property having 8 offers, this might get 1 or 2. This is actually a great property. There was a discount agent trying to sell it. Let's see if we can get this thing like $40,000 under market value. And then we got it. And it's because of the agent didn't do a very good job. The only thing I felt guilty about was the seller of that home had no idea that they probably left literally $40,000 on the table. And this is a home that was in the 300s, by the way. This isn't like a 900, 950 versus 910. Like, it was a drastic difference. And you'll notice it on listings, especially discount agents. It's usually a cell phone photo from a truck about a half mile away. That's when you'll notice the front of the house.
Or you'll often see agents that will start off a listing, it could be on the market for a quite long period of time, and you'll see that the marketing or the quality of pictures and whatnot ramps up as the listing gets older and older. You don't want to start off doing the bare minimum trying to get to the end result. You want to have people that are doing the absolute maximum from the get-go, that aren't worried about, I'm going to have to spend how many thousands listing and it's going to sell eventually. Going in and doing it bit by bit and piecing it together, the only person that benefits is the agent, because it means they get to save a little bit of money on the front. So if people aren't dropping guac on your listing, don't bother. I mean, that's just my advice, but again, you can pick who you want.
So you guys have already kind of started talking about this, but what are someone's just thinking about value? So what are some ways you add value and give exposure to some of the homes other than the pictures and stuff you've already listed? What goes into that
on the listing side?
I mean, I'm
I'm
worried.
Or...
Here's the thing, Snake. If I tell the people,
right.
there could be agents watching and they're going to be taking notes. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm kind of kidding. What it comes down to is really having a broad spectrum of marketing materials. So it means using all the different avenues. So having email, so digital, email, social media, print. Those are really, if I had to narrow it down, the 3 main things. We have different avenues that we branch off into those, and I won't go through a full listing presentation, but having digital marketing, and having print, and having social media, you have to cover all 3 bases, and it has to be a very strategic plan that can be rolled out in time for listing hitting. You can't do it after the fact. The last thing you want to do is list something and then start doing the marketing. The marketing pieces need to be in place before you go live, and then you roll it out one by one. So in short, it's having all 3 of those bases covered, so you're appealing to different avenues and multiple people, and having a set plan that is ready to roll the minute listing goes live, not doing it after. Those are the main things I say that help get the extra exposure. So. And
there's 2 specific things I noticed that we do that we don't like to brag much, but I can brag on this for a second here. 2 things that I notice, especially because I'm on the buy side so often. Something we do really well, especially on the listing side, the amount of information. When we list a home, it's not just photos. It's not just, what zone is this? What school district is this in? We get a pre-inspection done. There's a ton of information for the buyers. So when they go into this house, they're not wondering, wait, what if there's red flags I don't know about? Okay, what time can I get in on the home? What's going on with the seller? Stuff like that. We have so much information on the listing itself, and we deal with the buyer's agents so much that buyers feel really comfortable putting an offer on the home because there's not a lot of unknowns. And then number 2, we make showing so easy. I've dealt with things on the buy side. There'll be like a 2-hour window over a span of maybe a few days where you can show the home, and it's because the sellers were a little stubborn, the listing agent didn't do a good job. We make the home so accessible and it's staged, so when people go to see it, not only are they excited before they see it, but they show up and they feel like, oh my gosh, I hope no one else sees this because I want this so bad. A bunch of folks get invested in our listings because when they go and see it and it's presented so well, they want to make an offer, and it makes it competitive and drives the price up.
One last thing I think I'll put on that makes me realize when we've done a good job is I never really want agents to have to ask me too many questions that they can find by the information we provide. A lot of the time when we're representing buyers, we'll call an agent up and there's, I want to say not minimal, but there's a lot less information available. So we have to ask the agent a ton of questions or things that they could get out of the way. When a lot of the time, if I get a call on a listing, I have agents that call me and they're like, hey, this is so-and-so with so-and-so brokers. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And they're good. I said, what questions can I answer for you? And they just kind of go, so it's available? I'm like, yeah. Okay, we might be putting together an offer. Agents are literally calling just to try and find some way to build rapport because you've already answered most of their questions. That's a good feeling. Not in a bad way where you kind of feel that they're stumbling, but they've had their questions answered because we did a great job of providing all the information up front to help them and their client make an educated decision, which hopefully means spending all the money over asking on our clients' listings. So.
All right,
Thanks, Kayla, for joining.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Kayla. Well, anyway, that's
thanks for coming, folks.
That's another week done, and we'll see you guys next week.
Say goodbye.
Ciao.